welcome back. Okay, today we're gonna correct the exercise I've given you in the courseware, the one about investment. I hope you did it before watching the video. Please try to do it on your own, then watch the correction, okay? I also uploaded the correction in an Excel workbook. This way it looks a little bit better. You have the graph well done, you have the tables well done, easier to read. But still, I'm gonna do this video in order to show you how I came to the result in Excel. So let's start. I have investments, I have projects A, B, C, D, E, F where I can invest. For each project, I need $2 million. And in this column, I have the revenues that each $1,000 of investment is gonna bring me, okay? Now, I need to know if I'm gonna invest or not according to the interest rate practiced, okay? So remember, we're calculating it for $1,000 invested. So if my interest rate is 5%, what would be my cost for each $1,000 invested? It would be 5% times 1,000, which is gonna be 50, okay? So now I need to calculate my profit at 5%. What would be my net profit? It would be 70, minus 50, okay? That would be 220. Okay, excuse me guys, 1 second. I forgot to do one little thing. I did all the calculations and I don't want to have a mistake in this video, okay? So I have 270 minus 50, that would be 220. I have 220 minus 70, that would be 170, okay? So here I have 170. I have 160 minus 50, that would be 110. I have 120 minus 50, that would be 70. I need to check my results. Yes, good. 60 minus 50, that would be 10. And 40 minus 50, it's gonna be negative 10, okay? I'm not gonna find my points yet. I wanna create the whole table, then look at the points I'm gonna have, okay? It's gonna be easier on me. Now, if my interest rate is 10%, so how much am I gonna pay for each $1,000? It's gonna be 10% times $1,000. It's gonna give me $100, okay? So now I'm gonna take the revenue minus $100 and write the result. So 270 minus 100, that would be 170. 220 minus 100, that would be 120. 160 minus 100, that would be 60. 120 minus 100, that would be 20. 60 minus 100, that would be minus 40. And 40 minus 100, that would be minus 60. For these two, I calculated them, but then when I find a negative, I'm just gonna stop calculating, okay? Let's move to 15%. So if the cost at 15%, it's gonna be 15% times the $1,000. So it's gonna give me $150. Now I'm gonna calculate the net profit. So where am I? 270 minus 150, that would be 100. Where am I? I'm here. So that would be 120. Yeah, here are my results. Okay, 220 minus 150, that would be 70. 160 minus 150, that would be 10. And then 60 minus, where am I? Yes, 10. 120 minus 150, that would be minus negative 30. So as they are in order, so I don't need to calculate the rest. Moving on to 20%. So same calculation, cost at 20%. For each $1,000 invested, I will pay 20%, which is gonna be $200. So 270 minus 200, that's 70. 220 minus 200, that would be 20. 160 minus 200 is going to be negative 40. Okay? And the others, I don't need to calculate them. Even though in the correction they are calculated, but in here, there is no need. Okay, cost at 25%, you guessed it, it's 25% times the $1,000 invested, which is going to be 250. So 270 minus 250, that would be 20. 220 minus 250, that would be, I think, negative 30. And we are done. Now let's look at the points. I'm going to put my phone over here. Okay, so at 5%, I'm going to take them in green to show you the projects I'm taking. So at 5%, am I going to invest here? In A, yes, it's positive. In B, yes, positive. In C, yes, positive. In D, yes, positive. And in E, yes, positive. F, I'm not taking it. Because F makes me lose some money. Okay? So at 5%, I'm taking A, B, C, and D. These projects. Okay? So A, B, C, D. And that would be 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay. Do I have a problem here? Let me just check my calculations, please. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 projects. A, B, C, D, E, and that is not 8, that is 10. I did everything to avoid mistakes. I still made a mistake. Okay, so here it's $10 million. Okay. Now I'm moving to 10% interest rate. So I'm going to take this project, A, B, C, D. Only 4 projects. A, B, C, D. 2 millions each, that would be $8 million. Okay? Here I'm going to take A, B, C. I'm not taking the negative ones. These are no, no, no. Sorry, so it's A, B, and C, and that would be $6 million. Here I'm taking A and B, that would be $4 million. So this one, no. And here I have A, that would be $2 million. Okay? Now I'm going to plot the demand curve, the demand for investment curve. It's going to be a straight line going through 5%, $10 million, 10%, $8 million, 15%, $6 million, 20%, $4 million, and then 25%, $2 million. It is a straight line. It's going to look something like this. And that's your demand for investment without the tax. Take a screenshot and then let's move to the rest of the exercise. Let me just make sure. That's not the one I use usually. Okay. Clear? It's a demand, so it's downward sloping as usual. Now I'm gonna delete all this if you don't mind. Of course, don't hesitate to call me, SMS, WhatsApp, whatever, in order for me to explain if you have any doubt or any question. Okay? I'm here for that. I'm deleting this. Only the data, because now I have to add the tax. only the results, sorry. As usual, you have to bear with me because I don't have pause in my phone. And here we go. Okay, now first thing we're gonna do is to calculate the cost. Now here we add a $30, oops, a $30 tax, okay? So now I got this here. Now not only are we gonna pay the interest rate, but we're gonna add another payment for the tax. So I'm gonna sum them up. So here I'm gonna add plus 30, which is gonna be 50 that I had before, plus 30, that's $80. Here it's gonna be also plus 30, so it's gonna become, instead of 100, it's 130. Here, instead of 150 that I used to pay, now it's 150 plus 30, that's 180. Here is gonna be 200 plus 30, that's gonna become 230. And the last one was 25%, it was 250. Now it's gonna become 280. Yeah, plus 30 here, 280. So now I have my new costs. I have to do exactly the same thing. Calculate the net profit with the new numbers. So let's start. I'm gonna use the same color blue. And I do have my results over here. So let's see. For the first one, when I had 5%, I used to pay 50, now I'm gonna pay 80. So let's see, 270 minus 80, that's gonna give you 190. 220 minus 80, that's gonna give you 160. No, 40. Yep. Why 40? Yes, 40. Okay. 160 minus 80, that's going to give you 80. And 120 minus 80 is going to give you 40. And this is going to be negative, negative. Okay? Check my calculations with me. Okay, I'm going to move to what was 100 before and became 130. It was at 10%. So at 10%, I'm going to have 270 minus 130, it's going to give me 140. Now 220 minus 130, that's going to give me 90. 160 minus 130, it's going to give me 30. And then the rest is going to be minus 10 and negative, so I don't have to calculate it. Okay? Moving to 15%. So at 15%, I used to pay it's not minus here, it's minus 130. Did I say it's minus 180? I don't recall. Excuse me, I cannot pause. Okay, now it's 180 that I'm taking, it's 15%. So it's 270 minus 180, that's gonna be 90. 220 minus 80, that's gonna be 40. And the rest is negative. Let's move to 230. It was 200 before, now we added the tax, it's 230. And here you have 270 minus 230. It's gonna give you, well, that should be easy, 40. Yeah, it is 40. And the other one, 220 minus 230, it's negative. So no need to calculate. Okay? Now the last one, finally, 20% of 1,000 plus 30, that would be 280 instead of 250 that we had before. So 270 minus 280, it's negative 10. And the rest, as they are in decreasing order, descending order, so the rest is negative. Okay? Now let's determine the points. Now I'm gonna do it in red because it's a tax. So I want you to see it. Guess what's gonna happen? The demand is gonna shift to the left, just like we said, we did in the other previous exercise. So at 5%, I'm gonna take A, B, C, and D. This one, these two are negative. I'm not taking them, they're not profitable. So the point at 5%, projects A, B, C, D. Why do I always forget one point? That would be 8 million. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 8 million. At 10%, I'm gonna take A, B, C, A, B, and C. That would be 2, 4, 6 million. At 15%, I'm gonna take A and B, that's 4 million. 2 plus 2, 4 million. At 20%, I'm gonna take project A, that would be $2 million. And at 25%, I'm taking none. They're all negative, not profitable. I'm not investing in them. Okay? What is left to do is simply to plot the new demand curve. So it's gonna go from 0, then at 20% I have 2. Okay, let's do it, well, I'm doing it this way, okay? So 0, 2, then at 15% I have 4, at 10% I have 6, at 5% I have 8. And that's my new demand curve. I did it in order to be linear so that for you it's easier to plot. And that would be my new demand for investment. You see that it shifted to the left due to tax. So this one is with $30 tax, while the previous one was without tax. This one was without tax. Okay? And we are done. Yay! Take a screenshot, but don't worry, you also have it in the courseware in an Excel workbook. You're gonna find it very easily in the resources. Okay, I have to go, so that's all for this week. So for next week, I'd like you to read the chapter, of course, summarize it, and I'm gonna go directly to the multiplier model, okay? The rest of the chapter is very easy. You just have to read its theory. If you have any questions, of course, I'm here for you to answer. But the multiplier model, on the other hand, the C plus I approach, the S&I approach, and the multiplier itself, it's a bit harder to explain. So I really want you to watch the video and read it. Try to understand before. You're not really gonna understand, but at least you will have an idea of what we're talking about, okay? Stay safe, guys. Love you. Bye. See you next week.